Alright everyone, let's jump straight into it, because it's only February and we might have already witnessed one of the most insane moments in combat sports in 2026. Over the weekend at a Clash MMA event in Brno, Czech Republic, Václav Mikolášek and Pavel Vasko were facing off in the main event. What happened next shocked fans around the world. During a takedown attempt, Vasko responded in the most unbelievable way possible by biting Mikolášek's ear. The moment was horrifying. Mikolášek instantly reacted in pain as blood began pouring from the side of his head. The fight was stopped immediately, but the chaos was just getting started. Vasko left the cage, and when the crowd erupted, fans rushed him, throwing drinks, chairs, and punches in his direction. Security struggled to control the situation as Vasko had to literally fight his way through the crowd just to reach the backstage area. The footage from the scene is absolutely wild, and many fans are calling this one of the craziest moments ever seen in MMA. It's rare that we see something this chaotic, and it is definitely going to be talked about for a long time. Now, moving on to one of the biggest stars in combat sports, Alex Pereira, the UFC light heavyweight champion, still does to have his next octagon fight confirmed, and he's been pushing hard for a heavyweight debut. Pereira has made it clear that he wants massive fights, including a potential super fight with Jon Jones at heavyweight, or even the chance to chase a historic third UFC title. But while fans are waiting for the UFC to make an announcement, it looks like Pereira could be exploring something completely different. According to recent reports, discussions are underway for Pereira to potentially face UFC middleweight Sharipudin Magomedov in a grappling match. The possibility was addressed by Magomedov's manager during an interview, and while nothing is confirmed yet, the idea of Pereira competing outside the UFC octagon has definitely sparked a lot of interest. If this match actually happens, it would be a fascinating clash of styles and another example of top fighters branching out into different combat sports formats. Next up, Bo Nickal continues to level up his striking. The undefeated UFC middleweight was recently spotted sharpening his boxing skills with coach Jason Perillo, a legendary trainer who has worked with names like Michael Bisping and Luke Rockhold. Nickal is known primarily for his wrestling, but he's clearly putting in serious work to become a complete mixed martial artist. Fans are excited to see how much his striking improves as he continues training with high-level coaches. Now, let's talk about a tough injury update. Jimmy Crute shared a health update from a hospital bed after suffering a major setback in training. The Australian fighter was forced to withdraw from his scheduled fight against Dustin Jacoby at UFC 375 due to a complete ACL rupture. Crute confirmed that he underwent surgery and expects to be sidelined for most of 2000. Despite the setback, he shared a positive message with fans, thanking everyone for their support and expressing confidence that he'll come back stronger. In his video, Crute mentioned that surgery went well, he was feeling good, and even felt his muscles firing again just hours after the procedure. His mindset remains positive, and he's already focused on the comeback journey. Now here, something a little unexpected. Jon Jones, widely considered one of the greatest fighters in UFC history, recently took part in the Celebrity Flag Football Challenge at UC Berkeley's Memorial Stadium. Jones was on a team captained by rapper Quavo, facing off against Team Dwight led by NBA legend Dwight Howard. Even though Team Quavo ended up winning, Dwight Howard managed to get the better of Jon Jones in one hilarious and memorable play. Jones was on defense when Howard hit him with a stutter step, completely crossing him up before catching a touchdown pass and running it in with tons of space. The moment instantly went viral, showing that even the greatest fighters can get embarrassed in other sports. The event also featured big names like Demetrius Johnson, Henry Cejudo, and Justin Gaethje. At one point, Demetrius Johnson and Jon Jones had an interesting conversation about who deserves the title of the greatest fighter of all time. Both fighters showed respect to each other and acknowledged that the GOAT debate is always going to be subjective. They discussed how there does always have to be a single number one, and that greatness can be recognized in different ways. It was a rare and respectful moment between two legends of the sport. Later, Mighty Mouse asked Justin Gaethje about his recent fight and why he did to rely more on grappling against Paddy Pimblett. Gaethje explained that he did feel the need to grapple, mentioning that Pimblett's striking did pose enough threat for him to change his strategy. He talked about how he prefers staying in dominant positions, landing heavy shots, and avoiding risky grappling situations where he could give up position. Gaethje also joked about Pimblett's kicks, saying he felt he could walk through them once he figured out they weren't that dangerous. Speaking of Paddy Pimblett, he once again went viral for his eating habits. In a UFC 394 vlog on his YouTube channel, Pimblett was seen eating gummy candies in the locker room just hours before his fight with Justin Gaethje. He joked about eating Sour Patch Kids and other sweets for energy, showing his usual carefree personality. Fans were shocked to see him snacking like that so close to fight time. But that is classic Patty, always doing things his own way. Next, Arman Tsarukyan was seen living what fans called a real-life GTA lifestyle. The lightweight contender traveled to the French Alps, where he was filmed snowboarding while chasing an unmanned snowmobile speeding down a mountain. He posted the clip with a warning telling people not to try it, but the video quickly went viral. Tsarukyan continues to show his adventurous side outside the octagon, and fans love the insane stunt. Now, let us talk about a new combat sport trend that has people extremely concerned. A brutal sport known as Run It Straight has been going viral online. The concept is simple but extremely dangerous. Two athletes run full speed at each other on a straight track and collide with no padding or headgear. The goal is basically to knock the other person down, but the risks are massive. Last year, a 19-year-old participant died after taking part in an unsanctioned event, and the sport has continued to receive backlash. This weekend, the sport went viral again after UFC heavyweight Tai Tuivasa shared footage of a Run Nation event. In the clip, two participants collided at full speed and were left unconscious, sparking outrage across the MMA community. Ariel Helwani reacted by questioning whether this was dumber than slap fighting. Ben Askren called it incredibly stupid and said society is getting dumber. Matt Brown compared it to slap fighting, saying it might be better but still ridiculous. Coach John Kavanagh provided a medical breakdown, explaining that the fencing response seen in one of the fighters is a sign of serious brain trauma. MMA journalist Damon Martin also criticized the sport, joking that soon people might just stand 3 feet apart and swing baseball bats at each other. Despite the backlash, Tuivasa previously defended the concept, calling it exciting and saying it keeps people on the edge of their seat, while claiming safety is still a priority. To top it all off, the internet has already started turning the sport into memes. Several viral memes have surfaced, with fans mocking the concept and comparing it to other bizarre combat sports trends. And finally, a quick fun moment to wrap things up. A fighter named Herb Dean, who competes in LFA, shared a funny moment explaining that he's not related to the famous UFC referee Herb Dean, despite having the same name. He mentioned his background and training, adding a lighthearted moment to the MMA news cycle. That is going to do it for today as MMA News. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more breaking UFC, MMA, and boxing updates. Let me know in the comments what you think about the ear-biting incident and the Run It Straight trend. Are these the craziest moments we've seen in 2016 so far? Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.